Okay, this question had a typo in it, and we figured this out during the exam, but it didn't matter because whether you read it correctly or incorrectly ended up not mattering, but it did cause a small amount of confusion. Okay, so what is the total cost of producing Q goods? So the point is, this is like the whole granddaddy problem, except that you start with average cost and then you move to total cost instead of the other way around. So total cost, you just hike up the exponent because you're multiplying the A times Q to give you C. Okay? Do not minimize this cost function. It's a warning because it's obnoxious, and so don't try. So average cost, you're going to say, what? Why did you ask me that? What I meant to say is find marginal cost. But you see later I'm going to ask you to minimize, to compute the marginal cost at 5 or something like that. So you're going to end up having to calculate marginal cost later. So I meant to say marginal cost. Okay? So no big deal, because if you don't do it, you have to do it later anyway. Let's see, 3/4 times 2, get 6/4. 6/4 is $1.50. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'll just put 4 later. At what production level is average cost a minimum? So we look at average cost, and average cost is not a what? It's not a quadratic. It's not just a parabola. So we actually have to take the derivative, set it equal to 0, and solve. Okay, so hint that you can just use the quadratic formula, but since this is very simple, there's no bx term. There's no middle term in this guy. So you can just do the following. You can go 0.03q squared is equal to 0.75. It's really just a setup. Okay. Because you multiply both sides by 100, and then you get q squared is 25, and quantity cannot be negative. So it was really meant to be easy. I tried really hard to make the numbers different, but this is the only set of numbers that would work. I think it was right out of a homework problem too, and I was trying to make it different, and I think all I could change was the constant without messing up the problem. Okay, what is the lowest average cost? So first it told you at what production level is average cost minimum. So I'm just actually stepping you through step by step by step. Average cost is a min at quantity is 5. We just figured that out. So we just go back up the stairs and see 0.01 cubed. Can you say that fast? Q cubed minus 0.75 times Q, and then plus 13. Okay, and so we pull out the calculator and figure this out, and I could have used the simple calculator, but this one's already sitting here. Times, maybe I couldn't, 5 to the power of 3 minus 0.75 times 5 plus 13, and I glanced to make sure this was typed in correctly. It looks like it was typed in correctly. Hit equals, and it's 10.5. That sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard that number before, but it's a average cost, and so you want some units there. There we go. Compute the marginal cost at 5, and again you look up and see what marginal cost function looked like. Well, at this point, if you didn't already calculate it, you probably didn't calculate it because I didn't tell you to, but I just put it there because I knew what I was going to ask later. Alright, so you calculate marginal cost and then plug in 5. 5 cubed minus 1.5 times 5 plus 13, and we grab the calculator and figure out what this is. 0.04 times 5 to the power of 3 minus 1.5 times 5 plus 13. And we go ahead and check to see if it's typed in correctly. It is. And this should be $10.50 per item. And you may say, well, if I already knew that this was going to happen, did I have to calculate it again? Well, no. And in that case, actually, if there's a student who didn't calculate it up here, or didn't get the announcement in class, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can just say, oh, never mind. Actually, I never told you to calculate the marginal cost. I said calculate the marginal cost at Q. And so you have this little graph that you already know about. The shallow parabola, deep parabola, and they cross here. And what happens? So at Q equals 5, so this is the average cost being minimized. Marginal cost equals average cost if average cost is minimized. Well, this is not a parabola, so this is not going to totally work. So this is your reference plot, but this is just if both are parabolas. Okay, but they're not. Okay, but I'm still explaining the relationship. So the picture is just a sketch to give you an idea of what's going on. Okay, that's it.